Asteroid City is an upcoming film by my favorite director, Wes Anderson, and I'm about to predict his message based on a 2-minute trailer. Was I right or was I wrong? Find out on June 16th, or whenever it's released in your country's theaters. In order to accurately predict what happens in Asteroid City, we need to take a closer look at some of the other films in Wes Anderson's catalog. Specifically, we're going to be looking at the different types of character arcs that are present and not so present in Wes Anderson's films. Talking about character arcs is a little tricky because different people have different opinions on how many types of character arcs exist. Some people believe there's 4, while others think there's only 2. But for the purposes of this video, we'll stick to Studio Binder's theory that there are only 3 types of character arcs: moral ascent, aka positive, moral descent, aka negative, and flat. A positive character arc is one where a character believes in a lie and learns the truth, becoming a better version of themselves as a result. These are characters like Steve Zissou, Mr. Fox, and the Whitman brothers. Steve believes in the lie that I can't and shouldn't accept reality. Mr. Fox believes in the lie that I must always be fantastic. And the Whitman brothers believe in the lie that I can't trust my brothers. They all go through their respective journeys, and since this is a positive character arc, they're able to come to terms with the truth, and the truth serves the character in a healthy and positive way, allowing them to grow as people. I can and should accept reality. Being humble doesn't make me weak. I can trust my brothers. In short, positive character arcs showcases the positive growth of a character. Now let's move on to flat character arcs. If a positive character arc is about a character learning the truth, a flat character arc is about a character maintaining their truth. These are characters who do not change their beliefs and have the same personality traits at the beginning and end of the film. For example, at the beginning of the film, Mrs. Fox is caring and modest, and at the end of the film, Mrs. Fox is still caring and modest. At the beginning of the film, Susie and Sam are both reckless and loyal to each other. At the end of the film, Susie and Sam are still reckless and still loyal to each other. Monsieur Gustave is civil and conceited at the beginning of the film, and is civil and conceited at the end of the film. Zero Mustafa is kind and loyal at the beginning of the film, and is kind and loyal at the end of the film. It's important to note that just because a character stays the same doesn't mean they're boring or less compelling. In fact, in certain situations, it takes a lot more strength to stay true to yourself than it does to change yourself. To summarize, flat character arcs highlight a character's resistance to change, for better or worse. Speaking of worse, a negative character arc is one where a character becomes a worse version of themselves. In general, there are 3 types of negative character arcs: the disillusionment arc, the fall arc, and the corruption arc. The positive character arc and the disillusionment arc are actually quite similar. The characters both believe in a lie and eventually learn the truth. However, in a positive character arc, the character usually learns a pleasant truth that ultimately helps them become a better version of themselves. Whereas in a disillusionment arc, the character usually learns a tragic truth that ultimately leads them to become a worse version of themselves. Nick Carraway from The Great Gatsby is a great example of this. At the beginning of the film, Nick believes the lie that being wealthy creates true happiness. Nick then discovers the tragic truth that wealth cannot compensate for poor character or decisions, leading him to become a more sorrowful and cynical version of himself in the end. Next, the fall arc is one where a character believes in a lie, learns the truth, and rejects the truth. We'll be taking a look at Heathcliff from the movie Wuthering Heights. At the beginning of the film, Heathcliff believes the lie that getting into a relationship with Kathy will fix all his problems. He then learns the truth that no external factor can truly heal his inner wounds. In a positive character arc, this would be the point where the character would reflect on themselves and come to terms with the truth. However, because this is a fall arc, Heathcliff rejects the truth and doubles down on the lie that if he could just get together with Kathy, all of his problems would definitely go away. And last but not least, the corruption arc. This one is the most distinct out of the bunch because unlike all the other arcs, the character this time around already knows the truth, but chooses the lie. Walter White is a popular example of a corruption arc because at the start of the series, he already knows the truth that family is the most important thing in life. However, as soon as he gets a taste of power, he becomes addicted and chooses to believe in the newfound lie that power is the most important thing in life. You might be thinking though, how do I tell what's the truth and what's the lie? The answer lies in the movie that you're watching. Every film will usually have its own set of truths and lies, and it's up to the film itself to communicate that to the audience. So don't worry about it. If a film is crafted properly, it should be able to communicate to you what the truth and lie are. You can also watch these videos for more clarification. We now understand the 3 types of character arcs and can begin categorizing Augie into one of them. I'm going to remove the negative character arc as an option because, to my knowledge, Wes Anderson's films don't have any negative character arcs, which means that Augie will either have a positive or flat character arc. But to figure out which one it is, we'll have to take a closer look at the trailer. If I had to describe the Asteroid City trailer in one word, it would be sneaky, because there are a lot of shots in the trailer that seem to go together, but are actually out of sequence. So I did my best to rearrange the trailer in chronological order, and here's how I think the story unfolds. Augie and his 4 children are on the way to their father-in-law's house, but the car breaks down. Augie then calls his father-in-law to come pick up the children in Asteroid City, where they and a bunch of other characters will be staying at for the next few days. Augie reveals to his children that their mother died 3 weeks ago, and they seem to grow closer together. They go to the local diner where an explosion occurs nearby. Augie takes a photo of it. He returns to his seat and sees Mitch Campbell. Augie takes a photo of her. The characters then settle into their environment and get ready for the annual Asteroid Day Awards presentation, which commemorates the day the arid plain meteorite landed on Earth. Junior stargazers also get to showcase their inventions and receive badges and sashes. After the ceremony, the adults get to know each other better, and the kids embark on their separate adventures. Some time passes and the adults continue to talk about how weird their children are. And then, Augie's father-in-law arrives. Everyone gathers once more for the stargazing and scholarship ceremony, but then, aliens arrive. The military gets involved and Asteroid City is placed under quarantine. News of the alien encounter spreads and catches the public's attention. Meanwhile, the residents of Asteroid City undergo various tests and spend time exploring the area and getting to know each other even more. Lastly, the movie ends with Augie and his family leaving the quarantined Asteroid City in their now repaired car. Now that we know the sequence of events, we can finally establish the theme of the movie, and I think we all know what it is by this point. Alienation. The children and the adults are alienated from each other. Asteroid City is located in a desert and is alienated from the rest of the world. And there's also aliens in the film. Since we've already established that Wes Anderson doesn't do negative character arcs, this film will show the characters dealing with alienation and either becoming a better version of themselves through positive character arcs, or staying true to their beliefs and not changing through flat character arcs. So firstly, I think Woodrow and Augie's 3 daughters are very likely to be flat characters, because they don't seem to be dealing with any internal struggles and show consistent character traits throughout the trailer. Woodrow is seen being consistently curious and well-mannered, while Augie's daughters are seen being consistently playful and innocent. I also think Midge Campbell and her daughter will have flat arcs, with Midge being consistently open-minded and easygoing, and her daughter being consistently obedient and respectful throughout the film. Supporting characters like the government people, Steve Carell's character, Maya Hawke's character, and all these children will also probably have flat arcs. These 3 children though, I think will have positive character arcs. They seem to have an unhealthy relationship with their parents and may be suffering from parental alienation. And so throughout the film, I believe they will manage to forge healthier relationships with their respective parents and recover the sense of love and affection within their relationships, meaning that their parents will also undergo a positive change, going from the belief that my kids are so weird to, and that's okay. The last 2 characters who I think will have a positive change are none other than Augie and his father-in-law. Their relationship is probably the most important in the film, and it reflects the theme of alienation directly. Based on the trailer, Augie's father-in-law believes in the lie that Augie shouldn't be part of the family, and therefore Augie believes in the lie that I don't deserve to be loved. If they are to have positive character arcs and overcome their lies, they must first overcome their prejudice and low self-esteem to realize the truth. Augie is part of the family and deserves to be treated as such, and no matter how many mistakes I make, I will always have inherent value and worth. The story begins with Augie and his family traveling to their father-in-law's house to spend time with him, and even though they deviated from their original plan and ended up staying somewhere else, I'd say they still got the bonding trip they desired for in the end. Asteroid City seems to be a crazy, fun, and vibrant movie that puts Wes Anderson's creativity on full display, and I am more than excited to see it in my local theaters. Wes Anderson has the potential to do something really special here, and I'm fully on board with it. I think Asteroid City is going to be Wes Anderson's most pleasant film yet. Hi, thank you for making it all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed watching the video, and I hope you were able to learn a thing or two. And I also want to apologize for delaying this video so much. By right, it should have came out like a month ago, but life got in the way. There were like school assignments, and I was just learning more about like psychology and how to handle emotions. And I also got chicken pox. Maybe I'll show some photos over here. But yeah, that put me out of commission for like a week and a half, and I just didn't want to do anything for those few weeks. So, but we got back on track eventually, and I was able to get this video out pretty close to the deadline, I think, June 16th. So yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this video about a dysfunctional family who goes on a road trip, and I hope you stick around for my next video, where I talk about a dysfunctional family who goes on a road trip.